Hey guys, welcome to another edition of The Watch Collector. My name's Ollie. This episode is being filmed hot off the bat of Watches and Wonders 2025. And one of the reasons why I love going to Watches and Wonders, I love being part of this industry, and I'm sure you do too, is because actually when it comes down to independent brands, we get the opportunity to actually meet the artisans that are creating the pieces that we fall in love with. We get to share in their vision and understand how they come up with the kind of ideas they do. Because let's face it, these people they're creative, a little bit crazy, and that probably gives a very good indication of the kind of pieces that I'm about to talk about. One of those creators we got to have a really amazing conversation with was Louis Erard, and over the last few years he has collaborated with some incredible brands and broken the internet on at least more than one occasion, and sold out almost instantaneously with a number of his collaborations. The first one I want to talk about is the Louis Erard and GOS collab. But before I do, of course, almost forgot the obligatory wristwatch check, and today I'm wearing the Patek Philippe Nautilus 5726A. So this is, as I mentioned, the Louis Erard collaboration with GOS. Now GOS, their calling card is Damascus steel, and that dial is absolutely present and correct on this piece. The dial itself is treated with a proprietary bathing treatment that really brings out the contrast and the textures of that Damascus steel. So you combine that with the regulator layout that of course is synonymous with Louis Erard, plus the fact you've got the blue steeled hands, one at 12 o'clock, one in the center, and of course you have the seconds rotating disc, which is also a calling card of GOS, and you have overall a watch that really pulls itself together. It never feels just its parts. In fact, actually, the fluency of how it's been put together says that it's actually more than the sum of its parts, in my view. 39mm in diameter, 12.82mm in height. This watch has 38 hours of power reserve and 50 meter water resistance. I do quite like actually the way that they've smoked out the sapphire crystal on the back. You can still see the movement, but for me what it does is it really accentuates the star of the show, which is that Damascus steel. And what I like about it is GOS is all about thinking about the history of the Viking legacy, which is one of the reasons why they use the Damascus steel. What they've also done is used salmon for the strap, which is really beautifully supple, and I love the texture of it. I love the way that it plays with the light. Something very different to what you would normally have, whether it's calf or alligator, crocodile. It's really very nice, the touch, and is quite well wearing as well. So that's the GOS collaboration with Louis Erard. The next two I want to show you are these. These are really very special because they're in collaboration with Vianney Halter, and the inspiration is from the Antiqua model all the way back from 1998. Now that piece is a perpetual calendar. I was lucky enough to get my hands on one at Watches and Wonders just a few days ago, and those babies go for well in excess of £250,000 at auction. They have 450 components in total, 130 components alone just for the case. Extremely rare. The fact that I've seen one is genuinely a privilege. What they've done here, as I said, as an homage to the Antiqua, is incredibly clever. You've got all the Louis Erard design cues present and correct, the fact it's a regulator, but the colors and the way they've arranged it with the 18 karat gold plating and the rhodium, the use of rhodium in the dial is, in my view, extremely clever. What I also really love are the rivets around the bezel and also on the crown. Hopefully that will come out. Really, really very nicely done. Very classy, steampunk, there's absolutely no doubt. But even though it's an homage, 100% has its own personality. And so these are slightly larger than the collaboration with GOS, 43 millimeters in diameter, 10.95 millimeters in height, and 38-hour power reserve, 50-meter water resistant. As you can see, we've got two versions here. The one on my right is what you might call the regular version. So you can see that effectively what Louis Erard and Vianney have done is they've inverted them. On the left-hand side, you have what's called the boutique edition. Both limited to just 178 pieces, just as the collaboration with GOS is. The boutique edition sold out. I'm very lucky to have this and be able to do the comparison between the two so that you can see them together live, but unless it's on the secondary market, I'm really sorry, you won't find this one. This one, on the other hand, certainly is still available, although in very small numbers. I know the first thing you're going to ask is, well, which one do you prefer? Honestly, I've asked myself this question so many times. I think sometimes you can kind of get caught up with the fact that something is labelled as a boutique edition, and therefore you think that that one is automatically the more desirable. I honestly don't know. I love the fact that the, let's call it regular version, has got almost the full dial plate as being in 18 karat rose gold. I love the contrast of the way that the subdials really pop out of it as a result. But then again, I love the idea that you've got the 18 karat rose gold around the rim, connecting to the inside of the bezel. So honestly, I don't know. I'd love to know what you think, but I think what it does do is it really shows just why we love independent watchmaking. The imagination and creativity that is continuously flowing from the likes of Louis Erard, the likes of GOS, the likes of Vianney Halter, just tells us that it's an industry that is, in my view, absolutely thriving. So guys, that's enough for me. They are three, in my view, extremely cool collaborations, all of which at a, let's say, relatively accessible price point, certainly in relation to these compared to what an original Antigua would set you back. Would love to know what you think. GOS, Vianney Halter, Louis Erard. Does it get much better than that? We'll see you next time.